World Championship Boxing is back, live from a packed Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's the night before the annual Puerto Rican Day Parade, and most in attendance are here to see Miguel Cotto, the favorite son of that island nation. Tonight, Cotto takes on tough Joshua Clottey. Clottey was born in Ghana, but now calls Bronx, New York his home. It's Cotto versus Clottey in a welterweight title fight, scheduled for 12 rounds. Two of the sport's hardest guys in a fight which could become a cauldron of vicious body punching. Let's get ready. Tail of the tape. Miguel Cotto gives up or has a 3-year age advantage over Clottey. They're listed as equal in height here, but at the weigh-in, Cotto appeared to be the taller fighter. An arm length advantage of a half-inch for Clottey, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Cotto was 1 pound under the 147-pound limit. Clottey right on it. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Miguel Cotto Joshua Clottey fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3-knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
Time now for fighter entrances before this lively crowd.
And now, coming to the ring, Joshua Clottey.
Max, if Joshua Clottey could emerge from the thicket of fighters in the welterweight division and be seen as the legitimate champion, he would almost certainly surpass Ike Quartey, a star of the 90s, and move up behind only Azuma Nelson as the second greatest fighter in his nation's history.
And a lot of that has to do with the quality of welterweights around right now. It's a golden era, one that we experienced in the early 80s, again in the late 90s, and it's happening again. Hall of Famers and all-stars everywhere you look in the division.
We do not get unofficial weights after the weigh-in here in New York, Emanuel Stewart. But it was reported that 2 years ago, in a fight against Diego Corrales in this division, Clottey went from 147 at the weigh-in to 170 at the time of the fight. Might he be attempting to hydrate to a high weight tonight?
Being a big guy, he comes in at 160 often after winning it when he was at 140. So they both would probably come in big tonight.
And though some see this fight as an audition for a matchup against Manny Pacquiao, the biggest money fighter in the sport, Pacquiao's smaller size and the statistics we just cited regarding what happens when Clottey and Cotto come into the ring may ultimately prevent that. In his last fight against Michael Jennings, Miguel Cotto was given a title belt. He enters the ring second.
Y ahora Boricua, Miguel Ángel Cotto.
So you hear the crowd response for Cotto, equaled only by the love which has been shown here in the past for Felix Trinidad by the same crowd for the same reasons. Emanuel Stewart, we heard Joshua Clottey say he thinks he can win a decision here. What do you think of that?
Well, both of these guys are really high-strung, emotional guys, much like Trinidad. And that's what makes great fights. And the crowd's excitement generates energy from the fighters. Yes, he could win a decision, but he's got to win very impressively, because if it's a close fight, when Miguel Cotto puts combinations together, he does it in a flashy type style, which catches the imagination and the attention of the crowd and the judges. Where Clottey isn't that flashy when he does this, so he's got to win this fight very, very impressively.
You heard Emanuel Stewart's comment about the psychological challenge for Cotto of putting the ghost of Margarito behind him. Your thoughts about that?
Well, he's faced with a fighter who's seemingly impossible to hurt in Clottey, who's going to come at him like Margarito did. So his response, the boxing world, to that challenge, the boxing world eagerly anticipates. We'll find out in moments.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mecca of sports and entertainment, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA, where tonight, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present HBO World Championship Boxing, sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, and AT&T. Sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairperson Melvina Lathan, and the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the three judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system: John McKay, Tom Miller, and Don Trella. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Arthur Mercanti. And now, for the thousands in attendance here at Madison Square Garden and the millions watching around the world on HBO. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, officially weighing 147 pounds. Professional record, 35 victories, including 21 knockouts, only 2 defeats. By way of Accra, Ghana, the challenger, former IBF welterweight champion of the world, Joshua Grandmaster Clottey. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing red and gray, official weight 146 pounds. Professional record, 33 victories, including 27 knockouts with only 1 defeat. The 3-time world champion, the reigning, defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Caguas, Puerto Rico, Miguel Cotto.
Easy on that Vaseline.
I called it with Emmanuel Stewart and Max Kellerman.
Good evening, Josh. Miguel, you received the rules early in the night. Let's go toe-to-toe, touch gloves, and good luck to the both of you.
Miguel Cotto is favored. Many in boxing like the upset.
The referee is Arthur Mercanti Jr., his legendary father, Arthur Sr., watching at home tonight. Arthur, we miss you, and we love you. First round gets underway. Both men set up to box for the moment. Clottey has been known to dispense with the jab early in some of his fights in favor of simply going to the body. Tonight, he begins to operate behind the jab conventionally here in round 1. Cotto is extremely patient at the beginning of fights.
Yeah, but I think that's just going to be for a very short period of time tonight. There's too much emotions and too much energy in this building for this fight to be patient.
If you've followed Cotto over the years, you know that his 2 primary weapons are the brilliant left hook to the body and the straight right hand upstairs.
But both guys are exhibiting beautiful jabs tonight, which is very, very unusual. I thought that it would be more of a tight, hook-type battle, but I'm seeing some wonderful jabs right between the gloves of the opponents.
Well,
from both of them.
Clottey may be using the jab more than previously because he thinks he has a length and reach advantage against Cotto.
Cotto flashed the jab against Mosley. He used timing to offset Mosley's speed, and also against Margarito, especially over the first half of the fight.
Timing exactly, Max. I think that Cotto reminds me of Marco Antonio Barrera at his peak in the sense that the jab never seems to come at exactly the moment when you expect it. Clottey trying to penetrate Cotto's tight guard. Cotto has been very selective in his punching here in the first round. One thing to watch with Clottey, does his punch count drop off?
So far, the only really clear, decisive punch that I've saw has been Clottey's jab has been the most, to me, a significant punch so far in this fight.
Clottey blocking Cotto's body shots with his elbows. Great body punchers know how to block body punches. Cotto blocking Clottey's body shots with his arms. When we go to the corners, you'll be listening to interpreters. In Cotto's corner, Terry Olaya, interpreting a new trainer, Joe Santiago. And in Clottey's corner, Aforinore, and down goes Clottey at the end of round one, and Cotto has a vital point.
It looked like it was kind of a short left hook type jab.
Upstairs left hook.
And the only clean punch he landed in the round.
I think it was a left jab. I think it just caught him as though it was. He's a left-handed fighter, Cotto.
Well, thank God for replays.
You won the first round. You won the first round. Let's brush it off. Brush this off. You won the round. Just brush this off, okay? Let your hands go. Let your hands go. Let your hands go. Let your hands go. That's what you got to go. Let your hands go. It's nothing. That was nothing. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Here we see Cotto land, which was just a solid, powerful left jab, as I see it, but it just caught it at the right time when his body was in a bad position, and it forced a knockdown.
Great call, Max. A knockdown on a jab. And again, the timing. It came at a moment when Clottey didn't expect it.
Guys, it was a knockdown of a granite-chinned opponent with a jab.
I think the body position at the time, too, helped cause the knockdown. But nevertheless, that was the only clean punch that I saw for the most part.
In his big fights, and Max makes the point, in his big fights, Clottey hasn't even been buzzed, much less knocked down. So that's a tremendously important fight, or point for Cotto on the scorecards. You heard Clottey's trainer, Kwame Asante, telling him he had won the round. Well, not exactly.
When Clottey punches, you notice he kind of jumps up when he just said he punches very similar to the way that Cotto used to punch. All those guys from Ghana, they keep their hands up high, but when they start punches, they kind of raise their bodies up often when they punch.
Both fighters still operating behind very tight defenses. 1 minute into round two. Cotto stepping up the action just a little bit. Clottey reaching with the left hand to go to the body. Now, if Clottey's going to dip that low to land his left hook to the body, there's going to be an opportunity for some right-hand counterpunches by Cotto.
Well, I tell you what, at this point, Clottey still seems to be the better fighter at this point, as I'm watching. I mean, take that knockdown away for the most part. It's still Clottey has a better defense for the body punches, too.
But, Emmanuel, one thing to watch. In his big fights, Clottey has dipped as low as averaging only 40 punches thrown per round.
But he's landing clean, accurate punches when he does punch. I'm watching his punches are much more pinpoint. The biggest problem he has is when he punches, he often, as I said earlier, pulls his head up.
You see that better than most judges. Many judges respond mostly to punch count.
Yeah, but Clottey is still, to me, he's a much more precision and accurate puncher in this fight.
Clottey is certainly landing the more obvious, accurate punches, head-snapping punches here early.
See, that's his biggest danger right there. As he comes in off the time, he pulls his head up, and his body is up in the air where he can easily get knocked down.
But as we've seen, Cotto is the heavier-handed puncher.
Definitely. There's no doubt about that. He's proven that. And he's also proven that he can come through adversity. And he had so many fights he's been hurt, cut, knocked down, out on his feet, and came back to win.
Down against Ricardo Torres, hurt and cut against Zab Judah. Wobbled by DeMarcus Corley, back at 140 pounds. Clottey has indeed, or excuse me, Cotto has indeed stared down a fair amount of adversity.
Vuelve otra vez. Eso es. Eso. Abajo. Dámela abajo. Oye, no lo podemos que él inicie. No lo puedes dejar que él inicie. Llévalo hacia atrás todo el tiempo. Déjalo, que caiga atrás. El jab es importante. Eso es lo que
The jab is very important. Use it. All right, he's opening up for that. If you stir it up, keep moving. Light side to side. Side to side, side to side. Come on, Jordan, we're doing it very well. A little bit of water now.
CompuBox numbers in round two pretty close. Cotto 9 out of 62, a low connect percentage of 15%. That has to do with what Emmanuel said to you about Clottey doing so well at blocking the body punches. Clottey was 13 out of 54, a connect percentage of 24%. Cotto still leading on Harold Letterman's scorecard, despite having lost the second round there because of the knockdown in round one. Clottey gets to Cotto's ear with that left hook.
But the left jab of Clottey has been very effective going between Cotto's glove. Cotto fights with that peekaboo type style with his head moving forward, bent forward, and oftentimes Clottey's going right through the center with his jab. And the body punch that Clottey shoots is more effective. He shoots a hook on top to make Cotto take his right hand up, and then he shoots a left hook to the body. And it's been working so far. He hasn't did it that often, but when he does do it, it's been effective. Miguel's biggest chance at catching Clottey is when Clottey is coming forward and punching. The same way that Oscar De La Hoya knocked down Cotto, because, as I said, when he throws his punches, he pulls his head up. And that's when Cotto has got to try to catch him when he's coming forward and punching.
Meanwhile, as Cotto's leaning forward, Clottey is starting to find the range with the left uppercut.
He's working that left hand beautifully. He's working outside and up through the middle of that hole that everybody in boxing knows that Cotto has. He's easy to hit him with punches up between the belly.
One of the answers we already have in the wake of the Margarito loss for Cotto is that when presented with an aggressive opponent here in Clottey, Cotto is not simply giving up ground and running away. He's fighting back and at times backing up Clottey, although here we see him fight at the perimeter of the ring.
But Clottey's defense has been fantastic tonight. Outside of the knockdown, he's won to me every part of the fight for the most part, for accurate punches, except for that knockdown.
So what adjustment could Cotto make to penetrate that guard?
It's going to be very difficult. I see a rough night for Miguel. Yeah, I think that what he needs to do is to start, which he was doing himself. He had a pretty good jab, which he's totally abandoned earlier.
Cotto may have been thumbed in the eye.
Oh no, it's cut from accident.
And there's the blood as Miguel Cotto has been cut over the left eye. He's no stranger to blood. He has a new cut man tonight. Former cut man Miguel Diaz was shifted aside in favor of Joe Chavez, who has never worked with Cotto before. So new trainer and new cut man in the Cotto corner.
The referee, Arthur McCanty, is
That's not a good cut.
Avoid going to the ropes, June. Avoid the ropes. Come on, work the other leg now, Joe.
Yeah. Got it. Right here, you can see where the butt occurred. As you see, they're coming together. They had a collision right there, and evidently out of the situation, Cotto got the worst of it. And the referee properly informed all of the judges that it was an accidental punch.
Good call by Arthur McCanty Jr. Emmanuel, you're as good at knowing this as anybody. What chance did Joe Chavez have with that cut?
I think he has a good chance, but I don't know what he's using over there. I don't like the way it's looking.
An eventful first 3 rounds. Cotto with a knockdown in round 1. Clottey has landed more punches and seems to have landed the more effective blows. Now Cotto cut on a headbutt at the end of round 3. Our Harold Letterman won the Sam Taub Award for broadcasting from the Boxing Writers of America last night. The highest honor available to a boxing broadcaster. Congratulations, Harold. How do you have it scored?
Okay, Jim, thank you very kindly. 2 rounds to 1. 29-27, Miguel Cotto. Jim, if the fight gets stopped due to that accidental headbutt before the 4th round ends, it's a no contest, it's a no decision. If we go beyond the 4th round, they go to the scorecards if the fight gets stopped because of that cut. Anyway, I thought Cotto won the 1st round and he gets an extra point for the knockdown. He won the 3rd round because he outjabbed him, but Joshua Clottey won the 2nd. 2-1, Cotto.
Blood beginning to stream from Cotto's left eye again. Joe Chavez momentarily had it stopped, but now Clottey has gotten it going again by landing a right hand up there. More activity in the fight. Cotto seems to feel a sense of urgency, and Clottey will respond in kind.
And Cotto, feeling the urgency, targets the body of Joshua Clottey.
And Clottey comes back with a great left hook to the body and a terrific uppercut. Great combination by Clottey.
I like the way that Miguel is trying to fight back. He's showing urgency, but tonight, this is Clottey's night, as far as I can see at this point, with or without the cut. And the cut doesn't help at all.
Good shot in the middle of that combination by Cotto.
Cotto's best chance of hurting Clottey, I said, is to catch Clottey when he's there and it changes. But just going after him, being aggressive and being offensive, you're not going to hurt him. He's going to have to make Clottey punch with him and try to catch him when his head is up.
Cotto beginning to outdistance Clottey in punches thrown here in round number 4.
Yeah, but not landed.
Hard right hand by Clottey.
Cotto can't see the right hand coming.
No, and he's shooting the uppercuts between the gloves, too.
That's the first time somebody's held in the fight.
But for whatever reason, Clottey seems to show some kind of discomfort there for a moment.
Good combination by Cotto. And again, Max is right. He can't see the right hand coming, so he stepped away. Uppercut by Clottey, good left hook by Cotto. Crowd is trying to lift the spirits of the Puerto Rican fighter. And Mercanti follows Cotto all the way back to his corner to get a good look at the cut.
That's it.
Está viendo Miguel, está viendo Miguel.
It's okay, Miguel.
Duro por la nariz. Duro por la nariz.
Breathe deeply through your nose.
Yeah, yes.
Ahora sí, ya está listo. No hay
That's
nada.
it. It's straight. There's nothing there.
You can see, right? No problem. Is the blood getting in the way? Is the blood getting in the way? Sure.
Haz tu pelea, no hagas la de...
Here we see right here, not just the cut that came from the beginning, but the accuracy of the punches and the variety of punches that Clottey is doing, which is making it so difficult for Cotto to get out of the way. He's coming up between the gloves, outside, and...
CompuBox numbers in round 4. Cotto 21 out of 77. Stepping up the punch count to try to create pressure. Clottey 20 out of 55. More accurate, as Emmanuel has pointed out. 15 of Cotto's connects were in the last minute of the round, and to Harold Letterman's eyes, they were good enough to win the round for him. So despite the fact that Emmanuel is telling us over and over that it looks like Clottey's night, Cotto has a 3-point lead on Harold Letterman's scorecard.
And given that, Cotto may feel he's up on the cards, and the severity of the cut, and the way the rules operate, where it's in Cotto's advantage, it's to his advantage to essentially quit. The fact that he's not is more testimony to the kind of fighter Cotto is. It's the reason he engenders the kind of passion he does in his fan base.
You know, he has never taken and gotten into the fact of criticizing Margarito with loaded gloves, with his hands.
Potentially,
he never has did that.
He's been as stand-up as stand-up could be about the Margarito thing. In fact, and Clottey painting Cotto with right hand here as the blood flows again from Cotto's left eye. In fact, Cotto himself acknowledged that no one from his camp went to Antonio Margarito's dressing room last July 25 to watch his hands being wrapped. And when given a chance to blame that on his estranged uncle, he wouldn't go there and said, nope, it was all our faults, mine included.
He's a very special athlete.
Hard right hand again by Clottey. Miguel Cotto in deep tonight. Blood streaming from above his left eye after an accidental headbutt in round 3.
No one wants to fight Joshua Clottey, let alone with a bad cut over his eye.
Good tackle by Cotto. Clottey came at him, went up onto Cotto's shoulder, and Miguel just put him down. And Clottey appears to be hurt.
Suck it up. What happened? You need? Walk it off.
We've seen how Cotto's responded to this sort of thing. Let's see how Clottey responds.
Be like a champ. Get up and walk it off.
I don't know if you could call this a foul, Emmanuel. It's more on the order of all's fair in war.
I'm giving you some time. You try to walk it off. Be a man. Be a champ now. Walk it off.
Now, theoretically, Joshua Clottey would get 5 minutes to recover from this.
You're a champ. I'll give you 5 minutes. You want 5 minutes? Hey, wash this out. I don't need you, Doc. I don't need you. No. Suck it up, kid. Let's keep it clean now. I know it was an accident. You slipped. Okay? That's a champion now. Ready? Timing!
You just watched a very good referee at work. What a pedigree he has. He has great experience too. And now Clottey comes back to fight again. Let's see how that knee affects him.
Well, now both guys may have a handicap. One may have a sore knee and one has a bad cut.
Break! Step back. Watch the elbow now. Come on now.
If Clottey cannot drive forward on that left foot, it could take some of the mustard off his right hand. That would be a tremendous break for Miguel Cotto.
You know, the way that Clottey fights, which doesn't require a lot of footwork anyway, well, I think it won't be as damaging as it would have been with a fighter that danced around a lot.
Don't wait for him. Don't wait for him. Keep your right hand up. Keep your right hand up. When he comes in, he's drawing his back. He's trying to pull your hands down. Keep your hand right up. Make your right hand very tight. Keep it really, really, really tight. Keep it tight. Wow, Clottey is saying his feet is hurting. His knee is hurting badly. His knee is hurting very badly. You want to continue?
Here we can see which caused the throwdown, so to say. It is really hard to, look like he purposely threw him down. But, in the anger and aggression and knowing that he was behind on points, I could easily understand.
I don't think he threw him down, Emmanuel.
It was just his aggression.
I think he's just trying to shove him off.
Yeah, I think he just shed him. He shed him from his body, and Clottey fell in an awkward way. I mean, I don't know if I'm giving Cotto too much of an apology there, but it didn't look to me like he had any intention of throwing him to the canvas.
No, I agree with you.
He wanted him off his shoulder.
He was very anxious to try to get over the fight, but he's behind on points, and I think he was just trying to get rid of him so he could get back to trying to mount his attack that he had during for much of the time.
Technically, it was a much better round for Clottey, who landed twice as many punches as Cotto by CompuBox count. And Cotto lowered his punch count from 77 back down to 57. But you heard between rounds as Clottey told his corner that he is in pain from the left knee injury. Low blow by Clottey. First one of the fight. Canty just watches and notes it. Left hook and a straight right hand by Cotto. He seems to be gaining a little confidence now. Clottey is much less mobile than before. Cotto's trapping him against the ropes.
Well, we saw what Cotto has did in these situations in the past. He's probably a master at dealing with disasters.
Crowd comes alive. Clottey's trapped in the corner. Good left hand inside by Clottey. Cotto is undeterred. Cotto's not going to let him out of the trap. Many of these punches are being blocked, but the aggression is catching the eyes of the crowd and the judges.
Well, Cotto needs to just try to catch Clottey, trying to exchange with him right in that position with a left hook while he's exchanging.
Good straight right hand upstairs by Cotto. Got it through the guard. Clottey's right hand is losing steam. Excellent uppercut by Cotto. Clottey tries to come back with a big right hand.
And you see Cotto put him right back in the ropes where he kept him right in the corner.
This is brilliant tactics by Miguel Cotto. This is ring generalship as he has trapped Clottey in the corner for nearly a full minute here. Now finally he gives him some space and then drives him back again. Caught Clottey on the chin.
If Clottey stays over there, he's going to be in trouble, because sooner or later Miguel is too much of a power puncher. He's going to start penetrating even through that tight defense.
Suddenly the Miguel Cotto of old has emerged against an immobilized Joshua Clottey.
Both these guys have excuses to quit, and they're both fighting.
Hard right hand by Clottey.
And boy, are they fighting.
But Clottey's legs are hurt. He has to go right back to the ropes again.
What a chin Cotto has. Tremendous round for Cotto.
I need defense at me. I want. If I say for me, if I thought
He's going to get one way. He's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. Be fast. Be fast. When you're hitting, cover yourself up. Cover yourself up. Don't wait for him. Don't wait for him. You're doing beautiful. Good.
Here we see Cotto has Clottey cornered in the corner. And, dealing with these type situations, we've saw in the past that Cotto can deal with this. I don't know if Clottey can still survive this next round fighting that same way. We know that Cotto can do it.
CompuBox numbers in 6. Miguel Cotto, 95 punches thrown, 35 landed. Clottey did reasonably well at 23 out of 59. But 30 of Cotto's landed punches were power shots. And he did as much damage as he could when he trapped Clottey against the ropes for more than half of the round. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 58, 55, 4 rounds to 2. Miguel Cotto. Jim, I'll tell you something. I maintain that they have to stop painting those canvases right before the fight. When you get a freshly painted canvas, it's like ice. It's like just walking on ice. And that's what happened to Joshua Clottey. It got wet on a Takate's sign in Cotto's corner. His feet came out from under him, and he went down, and it just about cost him the fight.
That right uppercut that Clottey shot right between the gloves of Cotto was one of the most effective punches in the entire fight tonight.
And you saw Miguel Cotto pawing at his eye with his left glove.
Well, he saw how effective that Zab Judah was with punching up through the middle.
I mean, the constant shifts in momentum here.
What a seesaw fight. Clottey seems to be getting some foot movement back.
Yeah, he's making Miguel back up, and Miguel is not the best fighter backing up all the time, especially with a guy like this.
But
he needs to try to force physically and push Clottey back to the ropes. As I said this earlier, catch it when he's coming in punching.
Hard right hand by Clottey. He's still got advantages in there, but he seems to have lost some of the confidence that he had in the first couple of rounds.
But those punches are hurting Miguel, and especially that right uppercut, which is the punch he's really got to watch out for.
And here are the moments where we really see shades of Margarito, and we'll see what kind of a lasting psychological effect it's had on Cotto.
Yeah, it's when Miguel is the one with his back against the ropes, and Clottey is stalking him, that you have the mirror of what happened in the Margarito fight. What a seesaw fight, because the fourth round was all Cotto. The fifth round was Clottey's. The sixth round was all Cotto. The seventh round belongs to Clottey so far.
He's giving Cotto a beating in this round.
Hard right hand against that cut eye. One-sided round in favor of Clottey after he seemed in trouble in the last round.
And that's what Miguel has got to do. He's just got to be playing an animal at this stage of the fight.
Cotto is holding his left glove against his eye as he goes back to the corner, trying to stop the bleeding himself.
Agua por aquí, por el medio, Jun. Perdona, aliviamos este asalto, aliviamos este asalto. Ahora hay que retomar lo que dejamos.
Here you see Clottey landing a beautiful straight right hand, which just was typical how he dominated the round with accurate pinpoint punches for the most part. And still, Cotto has not been able to get his rhythm again with any clean, accurate punches for the most part.
Cotto landed 30 power shots in the sixth round. He landed only 8 in the seventh. Clottey landed 18, doubling him. Once again, Clottey closes in on the Letterman scorecard. Round 8 of a scheduled 12. Last year in Cotto's life has been tumultuous. This fight has been tumultuous. Just like the Zab Judah fight was 2 years ago.
Well, the one thing I can say about Cotto, he is one of the true warriors that I've ever saw in boxing. I mean, all the way until this fight ends, he's going to be in this fight.
Ooh, good little shots on the inside from Clottey.
Now Clottey against the ropes and Cotto in the attacking position again. But Clottey flurries off the ropes and goes back to the center of the ring. I don't know when I've seen a fighter as badly bothered by a cut in the ring as Cotto is tonight.
Very similar, like you say, it reminds you a lot of the Margarito fight at this stage.
Well, there aren't so many fighters who continue to fight with cuts like that.
Well, and just as was the case against Judah 2 years ago here, Cotto is swallowing a lot of blood, in addition to the blood that's blocking his vision.
And you can still see that Clottey is having a problem with that right rear leg right there. That's why he doesn't do too much and loses his balance off.
Oh,
Miguel Cotto can't see any right hands coming.
And they're really turning his head around.
And the uppercut is going to do more damage than that if he shoots uppercut underneath.
And I think doctors are going to have to seriously consider stopping the fight to preserve Cotto's left eye.
I think you're right.
Another right hand by Clottey, and again Cotto puts his glove up to try to stanch the bleeding. Cotto needs to land a couple of big shots and get the crowd back into the fight. That might raise his energy level again. This is looking hauntingly like the Margarito affair at this moment. Hard right hand by Clottey. Cotto trying to find space in the ring to stay away from that right hand. Remember, that cut was caused by an accidental butt. This is what will bring the crowd back, whether he landed him or not.
They should seriously consider possibly stopping this fight.
It almost doesn't matter what Clottey does with his left hand. At this moment, he appears to be in position to possibly win the fight on right hand punching.
Huh?
A little bit. Come on, Johnny.
Vamos. Vamos otra vez. Duro.
When he gets hit, it gets bleed.
Duro. Vamos. Eso otra vez.
Nice job.
Once again, you can see what I've been saying earlier. Even though Miguel has been throwing a lot of punches, most of his punches are blocked for the most part by Clottey. And that's why you see Clottey comes back and shakes his head, goes, his defense has been extremely, extremely good. And he's relaxed when Cotto is throwing those punches also.
CompuBox numbers in the last two rounds show Clottey with a 41-18 edge in power shots. Overwhelming majority of those 41 punches coming with the right hand. Again, just to belabor the point, Cotto can't see out of his left eye.
Joe Santiago in Cotto's corner should be thinking about making the argument that the fight should be stopped on the cut, because Cotto maybe has won enough rounds to escape without a loss at this point.
But it's going to get worse as the fight goes on.
Exactly. He can't afford to lose any more rounds if that's going to be the gambit.
His best chance of winning the team at this stage would be to go to the scorecards.
And the question is, without an experienced chief second in the corner, is this now becoming a disadvantage for Cotto in this fight?
Emmanuel, many times in past fights, Miguel Cotto has switched southpaw, and sometimes with startlingly positive effects. If he were to switch to southpaw here, the bad eye would now be not the lead eye. Should he try it?
He should try it. I mean, there's nothing working at this stage. He's got nothing to lose, as I'm concerned, because he's getting caught with those right hands. And, you know, it looked like he would try to take advantage of the leg problem that Clottey is supposed to have, but it doesn't seem like he's having that problem right now by boxing and making him move. But I don't know if Cotto has that energy to do that himself, and to just box and try to make Clottey use his legs.
I have a hunch that at the end of this round, when we look at Harold Letterman's scorecard, we are going to see an even card with 3 rounds to go in the fight.
I've been here, Clottey hit him.
All the momentum belongs to Clottey.
I can't see how in my mind that Miguel could be ahead on the scorecard. I know Harold may have it. To me, outside of that knockdown in the first round, I've said this has been, for the most part, a Joshua Clottey fight.
Well, not rounds 4 and 6, Emmanuel. They were very one-sided for Cotto. And there's a knockdown in round 1. And we're only in round 9. So it's still reasonably close, one way or the other. Cotto trying to rally down the stretch here in the night. Clottey goes after him again with the right hand.
Watch those heads. Let go of the head.
Big shot here for either guy. Could steal the round.
Yeah, you know, this Cotto is still in this fight. I thought after the cut problem he was having before, but he's still in this fight.
All right, it's a good show, man. You'll come back 100%. You're back 100%. Don't wait for him and let him hit him. Don't wait for him. I want you to move away from his body movements. Just slide away, and when you start moving, slide away and keep the right hands up. Keep the right hands up. You're doing great. Keep it up. Don't wait for him. The left up.
Nice job.
Un poquito más.
A little bit more.
Cuando lo tengas en la soga, no lo
John, when you have him on the ropes, don't let him go.
Vamos, de lado.
Come on, use that uppercut that we practice. What about that? Use that uppercut a little bit when he's up against the ropes.
Second down.
3 rounds to go. County box numbers in that round were fairly even. Clottey 18 out of 53, Cotto 14 out of 63. Harold, how do you have it through now?
Look at him, just like you called it. I got it all even. 85-85 in rounds, 5 rounds to 4. Joshua Clottey, because he won 3 rounds in a row, 7, 8, and 9. But that knockdown, that extra point in round 1 is looming large in the scoring of this fight. So in the all-important points category, I've got it all even, 85-85. In rounds, we got it 5-4, Joshua Clottey.
If Miguel Cotto were able to legitimately win this fight, it would be the greatest victory of his career.
I was just thinking the same thing, Max. I mean, the courage that he's shown in this fight, the punishment he's taken, and hasn't went down, and still is looking to try to win this fight. He hasn't given up.
And let me say that if the fight goes the distance, as most experts predicted from the beginning that it would, the panel of 3 judges which will score the fight is not exactly a who's who of judging in the sport, which is not to say they're not good, not to say they don't know what they're doing. It's just that this is not exactly Jerry Roth and Dwayne Ford and Dave Moretti. It's guys whose names you may not know all that well. Clottey seems to have slowed a bit here in the 10th. No longer strafing Cotto with right hands, though the opportunity would still seem to be there.
You're right.
Cotto switches southpaw now here momentarily.
But you got to remember also, between the two of them, Cotto still is a bigger puncher between them. Clottey's, I think, a better technical fighter. And the fact that, Cotto is still trying to win, and you never know what's going to happen when he lands a punch, because he's a bigger puncher. And that's the one thing, a puncher can always get himself back into a fight with just one single blow.
Cotto is moving effectively to get away from Clottey's punches. He blocked the left hook a moment ago. He's trying to hunt and peck his way through the 10th round. Now Clottey comes alive. Courageous performance by both fighters. Clottey appeared at one moment headed out of the fight with a left knee injury. He's recovered and is doing fine. Cotto still struggling to deal with that massive cut over the left eye caused by an accidental headbutt in round 3.
There you go. That's the shot. You need to do that more often.
That's what De La Hoya did against Cortez.
Yeah, you got to catch him in exchanges.
Interesting to see if the big left hook won the round for Cotto.
Take his mouthpiece out. Hey.
It's drying out. It'll dry out. I got it under control.
Gino, estíralo bien.
Straighten up his legs.
Is this stopping your performance or no? Hay que ganarle estos dos asaltos. Hay que ganarle estos dos
We gotta win these rounds. We gotta win these 2 rounds. Come on, press him.
Okay.
Press him. Deep breathe. Breathe deeply.
Come in, crowd. Keep the left, let the hand go. Keep the hand
10th
going.
was a slow round.
The left should be going. Keep it going. Don't wait for him at all.
Slow round for both fighters. Clottey throwing only 50 punches and Cotto throwing only 44. Clottey connected far more, but Cotto landed that big left hook in the closing seconds of the round, which may have enticed judges to give it to him. Now there's Vaseline hanging like a waterfall off of Miguel Cotto's left eyelid, and I'm amazed that Mercanti hasn't made him take it off, and now it falls off onto the canvas. Good left hook again by Cotto.
He's got to get Clottey when he's punching and make him exchange with him and try to catch him with his head over to the left hook.
Clottey, not particularly a knockout puncher, has never had a knockout past the 10th round. Cotto has had 11th round knockouts. Stoppage against Octave Urcal a couple of years ago.
What Clottey's doing is very smart by showing Cotto that Cotto's punches don't affect him. He reminds Cotto of Margarito.
Only Margarito was a busier fighter.
I wonder if, given everything Cotto has been through tonight, the Margarito thing is now ancient history for him.
To me, I would say so. I mean, he's fighting a great fight considering how sharp and accurate Clottey is, and fighting with a handicap from such an early part of the fight. I mean, a severe cut that has never stopped bleeding.
If Cotto finishes the fight on his feet, I think we can say he's put the ghost of Margarito to bed.
If he does it, I think he's did it already, as far as I'm concerned.
Good right hands for both fighters in that exchange.
There you go. He's got to keep catching him with a hook right there while he's exchanging. Being offensive, he's never going to hit Clottey with punches. See that? Clottey's preparing for those. He's got to pull him in, bend over, and try to catch him in with a hard left hook while he's throwing punches.
Emmanuel, is he getting lucky, or has he made the right tactical adjustment?
Well, I think he has no choice, really, for the most part. Clottey's putting a lot of pressure on him. But I think everything he does should be a counter punch. He should not be trying to be aggressive or anything.
Tell you what, everything Miguel Cotto has learned since leaving the Sydney Olympics in 2000, in 8 years as a professional fighter, he has brought to bear in this enterprise to get through 11 rounds with Joshua Clottey under these circumstances is extraordinary.
And because Clottey manned up when he went down and could have quit with a leg injury, we have a great fight on our hands.
Max Kellerman playing in pain with a voice that is threatening to go away, but hanging in. So Clottey hangs in with the bad knee, Cotto hangs in through the cut, Kellerman hangs in with laryngitis. What a night in the Garden.
Last round.
You're following the round. You're following him. You're not throwing any punches. You're following. Cut the ring off. You could cut the ring off him. Just don't follow him around. This is the last round. This is the last round. Let's go. Let's go.
We've got to win this round. We've got to win this round, Stallion. We've got to win it. Got to win the round, Jonathan. Let's go. Let's go. We can do it, damn it. We can do it. We got to push him back. Come on. We got to push him back. Keep him on his back foot.
Well, by CompuBox count, the 11th round was dead even. Cotto 19 out of 54. Clottey 19 out of 47. I sneaked a peek, and I can tell you that Harold Letterman scored it for Clottey, which means high drama in the Garden on Harold's scorecard, because we're even going to the 12th. Fight on the table. Which man wants it more? And incidentally, at the beginning of the evening, I asked asked Emanuel Stewart whether Joshua Clottey could win a decision against Miguel Cotto in Madison Square Garden, and now that question looms larger than ever.
Yep.
I wonder if Clottey is throwing enough punches to make it stick. There's tape hanging from Joshua's right glove. If Mercanti sees it, he has to wait for a lull in the action to try to fix it.
Cotto's won the first minute of the round, guys. There are 2 minutes left.
And here comes Mercanti with the scissors.
Let's go.
Blood streaming down Cotto's face as he tries to muster 2 more minutes of courage. Two little uppercuts inside for Cotto a moment ago. Clottey just not throwing.
No, and this round could be won by Cotto because his body movement, his rhythm, his low combinations, whether they land or not, is much more catching and flashier than Clottey, just plodding forward.
And whatever happens, there's going to be a beef from Clottey if he doesn't win because he looks like the winner.
Miguel Cotto accidentally hit Joshua Clottey in the back of the head. It's the first time it's happened.
You know, it seems like he's kind of a little, maybe I shouldn't say this, a little overreacting, especially when you consider all of the pain and misery that, you know, Cotto has been going through the whole fight. And maybe I shouldn't say that, but it seems like he's overreacted just particularly to that situation.
And Arthur Mercanti Jr. is not letting Clottey use it as an excuse.
No, he turned his back. He accidentally, it was nothing purposeful.
Now he's warning Cotto to keep his punches up. But as Clottey showed you in the Judah fight 2 years ago, or excuse me, as Mercanti showed you in the Judah fight 2 years ago, he is not a referee who is quick to penalize. He gives the fighter the benefit of the doubt. Good left hook. Unquestionably, Cotto leads in the round because Clottey hasn't thrown enough. 30 seconds to go. Now Clottey begins to try to unload.
All right, break. Work, let's go, work.
5 punches from Cotto, none from Clottey.
He's won this round.
One more big left hand by Cotto. A right hand on the chin, but is it enough? Bell sounds. And the two fighters momentarily embrace. Clottey wants to celebrate in the center of the ring.
Clottey may have been the better fighter tonight. Cotto may be the better man.
Great statement, Max.
It was a wild fight. Let's take a look back at how eventful it was. Round number 1, closing seconds. After Clottey seemed to have won the round, Cotto landed that jab which knocked down the seemingly knocked down proof Ghanaian fighter. Third round, accidental headbutt, opening a huge cut over the left eye of Miguel Cotto. A cut which would affect his vision and his ability to stop Clottey's right hand for the rest of the fight. Round 5, in a corner. Clottey finds himself up on Cotto's shoulder, and as Cotto shreds him, Clottey falls to the canvas in an awkward position and twists his left knee. For the next 2 rounds, there was a question as to whether Clottey could continue. But they made it to the 12th round, where Cotto turned to throw a left hook. Clottey was momentarily turned away from him, holding Cotto's right arm between his arm and his body, and Mercanti issued no penalty for the accidental foul. And now, 3 judges with a difficult decision, and let's show you who they are. John McHale from New York, 3 title fights in his background. had Cotto ahead of Judah in the 11th round by 6 points. That was probably too wide a score. Tom Miller, 33 title fights out of Ohio. A 1-point decision for Pacquiao in the second Marquez fight. And that was the margin of victory in the fight for Pacquiao. Don Trella of Connecticut, 7 title fights. Notable fight, Cotto over Malignaggi, 115-112, which was pretty much the consensus score. Harold, your final score.
You know, Jim, I thought Miguel Cotto won it on that left jab to the jaw in the first round. 6 rounds apiece, but in points, 114, 113, Miguel Cotto. He gets the extra point for the knockdown in round 1, and that's the difference in the fight. 3 big rounds in a row for Clottey, make it real close, 7, 8, and 9, but Cotto's still on top by 1 single point in a very, very close fight.
Joshua Clottey regards himself as Mr. Hard Luck in the welterweight division. Lost to Carlos Valdemir on a questionable late disqualification on a headbutt that may or may not have been intentional. Lost to Antonio Margarito in a fight in which he was leading early and then faded when he says both of his hands were hurt. Those were his only 2 losses. He's never been dominated. He wasn't dominated tonight, but he may conceivably wind up on the short end of another disappointing decision.
And if he does, there'll be an outcry, because from the point of view of someone watching the fight and not scoring it round by round, and maybe from the point of view of many who did score round by round, Clottey appeared the winner.
And it seems to be taking an unusually long period of time for the scores to be tabulated.
It's Cotto who's cut and bloodied. It's Cotto who was forced to retreat. It's Cotto who looked like the fight was slipping away from.
But he came back to win the last round on all of those conditions, which is amazing. The first round and the last round.
And now Michael Buffer is ready to end the suspense and tell us if there's a winner in the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the scorecards. Don Trella scores the fight 116-111 for Cotto. John McKay scores the bout. Pardon me, Tom Miller scores the bout 114-113 for Clottey. John McKay has it 115-112 to the winner by split decision from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Still WBO welterweight champion of the world, Miguel Angel Cotto.
You get exactly the crowd response you would expect in a city with 800,000 citizens of Puerto Rican background.